Happy Thursday, everybody. Big waves to you. Good to see you this morning. Good to see you in the chats and the comments. Everybody over in Facebook world, let us know where you're tuning in from. Andrea, can you hear me okay?
Yes, you sound great.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. Well, the word for today again is perspective. And Anthony Moreland said it best just a little bit ago. He come on and said, when you read some things in the morning, a lot of times it just comes at you. It hits you. It really, really attacks kind of, some internal places in you. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of self-developing and kicking off your day. That's what I love about the Coach's Corner. But so today's perspective, and Andrea's got some really good stuff for you today. I'm excited for you to hear that. But one of the things I wanted to say, if you look at perspective, think about yourself again, a particular attitude towards or a way of regarding something, a point of view. And recently, over the last couple of years, I'll give you an example. Your perspective is the way you see something. And let's take the news. Let's take the media. Okay. Let's take a highly debatable topic. And if you're someone perspective wise that talks to yourself and tells you, hey, this certain news channel is where I'm going to get all my information and I'm going to believe it. How many of you's got relatives that's the way they believe? It's like this certain one, it's the gospel, it's 100% right, and I'm going down that direction, and all the others are evil. All the others are evil, right? We've all got relatives, and maybe you might feel that way, okay? And I got thinking about that. That really popped out to me this morning because I find myself sometimes telling myself so much that I believe it to be true, okay? And it's my perspective. And what I would say there is I hope when I was looking at this today, I went, Brent, you gotta be smarter. You gotta deal in facts, right? Don't just take a news media's word for it. Like if there's a topic, go find it and deal in facts. Okay. Collect data to form your conclusion, to form your perspective. And I thought, that's really what people that do great things, that's exactly what they do. People who make big discoveries, they deal in facts. They're the ones who somehow manage to free themselves from conventional ways of thinking and to see subject matter data from a new perspective. And they do massive things in our world. I thought that's really where I need to be more of, is somebody that deals in facts, thinks outside of the box, forms new ways and discovering ideas. And that's how big things happen. And so I'm going to share just a couple of things with you. And then I moved into how many of you really want to keep great perspectives as you go throughout the day? I know I do. I get bogged down a lot with stuff, with drama, with, people. Just sometimes I get bogged down. I thought I want to look at ways, secrets to keeping great perspectives. And I went across a few people that's done great things in our world. And here's kind of what they had to say. Going through life, how to keep a great perspective. Number one, happiness is often a choice, so choose wisely. Happiness is a choice as I go throughout the day. Number two, complaining makes us complacent. And I've done this before. Get on a binge of complaining, and before I know it, I'm just in quicksand. Number three, social media is a community, not a one-man showcase of your life. Think about that. Number four, and I took these from different places. Differences are really not a bad thing. You and me can have differences and work together. We can agree to disagree, and it's okay. Really, we don't want everybody thinking just alike. That's a scary thought. Number 5, the number one cause of death for passion is envy. I love this. The number one cause of death for passion is envy. 6 says the best thing in life are illogical. The best thing in life are illogical. Number 7, life is sweeter when you celebrate the little victories. We talk about that all the time. Celebrate the little wins. Enjoy the little victories. Really, really make yourself, brag on yourself when you make that call. Brag on yourself when you reach out to somebody via text and tell them you're thinking about them and tell them how much they mean. I mean, brag on yourself, like pat yourself on the back. Little victories. Number 8, the past only matters in how you redeem it. I love this because how many of us have got some dark places in our past, you know? But it's how we redeem those spots, right? That's life. And then the last one I'm going to share is fight for the things worth fighting for. That usually excludes many of the debates on Facebook. I love that. So these are all secrets to keeping a great perspective on life as you go throughout the day. Andrew, I'll turn it to you.
Well, I loved your message, Coach. That was so fun. And I'll tell you, I did absolutely read that the best things in life are illegal when I read your notes, and it made me giggle. So I thought, wow, where is he going today? So illogical makes a little bit more sense. So thank you for that. And I looked into this a little bit last night, and I think that always makes me, I sleep different. So interesting when I'm involved with these because I think about it all night long. So I found a couple of quotes about perspective. So humans see what they want to see. And that's Rick Riordan.
Hey, Andrea.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's brushing up against, I don't know what it is, but you're. Okay. Yeah.
You're all hearing? All right.
Okay.
I'll try not to do that. We'll put down that for a minute. Sorry. Okay. So humans see what they want to see. Songs are as sad as the listener. I thought that was an incredible quote about perspective. If you think about it, any song can be sad if you're in a sad mood, right? What you see depends not only on what you look at, but also where you look from. And that's James Deacon. So kind of where the direction I went in was a completely different one from Coach. And it made me think about, have you guys ever received a text message from somebody and you read it in a specific tone, right? So you're reading it and maybe they said, can you go to the grocery store? But you read it as, can you go to the grocery store? Whatever it may be, right? Or the opposite, right? Like, can you go to the grocery store? That was a ridiculous one, but you got the point that you read it with your mindset. And I feel like so much of our communication passes through our perspective. So how do we make sure that we are considering another person's perspective, especially in, our personal relationships, working with a team, in a variety of different situations? How do we make sure that we are not just being rigid in our perspective? So, and this stepped on my toes, guys. I'm a little bit of a rigid human, so I love this one. So first thing that I found was realize, and we all know this, but we are by our nature selfish creatures. We are designed, this is probably survival, but we're designed to think about ourselves first, right? So we operate from the perspective that I'm right and it's about me. And we typically are going to walk into something only seeing our side of the equation, right? So just by realizing that that's the way that I'm wired, to know that I'm going to think I'm right, but guess what? I might not be, can help me shift my perspective in very, very quickly. Next is to role play. Okay. So let's say, I get into an argument with my daughter over what she's allowed to do. If I can, try to walk myself through the whole situation, but instead of from my side, from her side, it can help me see it from her perspective. Just imagining, what's the saying, like walk a mile in their shoes, but actually try to see it from the other person's perspective. Play that out in your mind or verbally with somebody else, and then ask questions. Okay, so I'm in a conversation, and again, due to our perspective, we are filling in a lot of blanks in a conversation with somebody. I know I do this. If anybody else can relate to that, where I think I know the end of their sentence before they even get to it, right? Because I'm assuming where they're going to go. But instead of making that assumption, ask questions and, just be able and kind of brave enough to say, I don't see this from your point of view. Like, I'm not getting your perspective. Can you share a little bit more about why you're saying what you're saying? And then lastly, give grace. And I read something, I don't even know when I read this, but this was another one that stepped on my toes. But I read something once that says that when we lie, so when I lie, okay, I justify it to myself because I know my intentions. But if somebody else tells me a fib, then I judge them on their actions, right? And I think that lesson right there applies to so many different situations, not just when somebody fibs. But if you really look at the other person's intentions, their perspective, we can give a lot more grace. So that's all I have today, Coach. Hopefully that was okay.
No, that was phenomenal, Andrea. Thank you for that. And it really makes you think. I know I get caught up in text messages a lot with tone. It's like I think they were asking a certain way or saying a certain thing, and it's coming from my perspective. So I love that. Guys, I hope you have an amazing Thursday. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part, and we'll see you back tomorrow to close out the week. Have a great one.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a